Hi, I'm Bobby Kwasny. I'm from Thunder Bay, Ontario, originally, and I've been a gym rat since probably before I was born. I've trained in gyms all over North America, really, from some really beautiful clubs to some real dumpy crap hole gyms. And yeah, I've seen a lot of things and done a lot of things, but you know, the more you do and the more you see, the more you realize you have yet to do and learn, right?
People that don't know how to train are at a disadvantage because they could, if they try, they could injure themselves, and so they should at least have some sort of a base knowledge or educate themselves a little bit before they go ahead and start using weights or anything.
I think in large part too, it's if you don't really know what you're doing, it's kind of hard to motivate yourself to go to the gym and just walk around and do random things, whereas if you have a routine and you know what you're doing, then you kind of feel more like going to the gym and being fit and active.
Everybody's got their own system. I've learned over 17 years of working in gyms that unless you know the whole story of what somebody's doing, I mean, I've seen some some terrible interpretations of exercises in my years, both working in gyms and working out in gyms. And unless you know everything that they're doing, you can't judge regardless. But you can't say, boy, that's bad, or that's good, or that's interesting, or that's ridiculous, until you know everything else, because it's all systems orientated in here, right? Everybody's got their system, whether they realize it or not. So that's kind of the politically correct way of saying, yeah, I've seen some pretty terrible things. I've seen some pretty interesting interpretations of the squat over my years in the gym. And sometimes it's hard to watch. Horizontal movement, they confuse moving the pelvis up and down or you know, changing up the leg angle with their head. They figure the closer their head gets to the ground, the lower they're squatting. So they'll go like this, which is, you know, they're actually making a vertical movement, and then they'll start doing this. Because their head's getting close to the floor, they think they're squatting lower, but really the only thing that's changing is the angle of their back. And also you see guys that will stop their squat here, or even here, and they put on way too much weight, and they're doing 1/3 or 1/4 or 1/2 of the movement. Believe it or not, the bicep curl is probably another one. At the other end of the spectrum, you know, you've got the squat and then you've got the bicep curl. One thing I try to encourage guys to do, or people to do, is do their bicep curls seated, you know, on an incline bench, and that removes a lot of the bad biomechanical patterns. Weight goes up, weight goes down. Shoulders are down, and you're using your bicep for the bicep curl, not your shoulders. Again, people confuse bar movement with actually using the bicep. Here I'm not, if you look at the angle of my elbow, it doesn't even change, but the bar comes close to my face. So this is exaggerating, but that's what you see.
Eating is part of your fitness regime. You can't have one without the other. It's proper balance. You need a proper balanced exercise with a eating program to get the full benefits of you staying fit.
Processed food is bad. Whole food is good. Period. End of story. Basically, if it's got an ingredient label, don't eat it. If it's an ingredient, eat it. You're talking your meats, your vegetables, your fruits, rice, water. Anything that basically doesn't have extra ingredients put into it. You know, basically any kind of animal flesh. Seafood is great. Vegetables, fruit, because they haven't been, the composition or the content hasn't been altered by man. I've heard some strength and conditioning coaches say that you can screw up the rest of your day as long as you get your pre-workout and your post-workout nutrition squared away. You'll make gains. So this is me squaring away my pre-workout nutrition. Nutrition is important regardless, whether you're training or not training, whether you're an athlete. I look at all my clients, I look at everybody as an athletic vessel. You're trained as a strength and conditioning coach to look at everybody as an athlete, really. And whether you're 60 years old or you're 15 years old, you need to be responsible for your own health and wellness. And food is the single most powerful drug on earth. You know, in regards to a fitness program, if somebody's looking to do transformation or for athletic, you know, trying to improve their athletic performance, generally the rule that you hear is nutrition is about 80% of your gains are going to come through nutritional discipline.
Looking good is a huge motivation. Having goals is important, and improving how you look, you know, getting that six-pack, getting the guns going is a good motivation to have, but that's kind of a long-term motivation. Keeping your motivation is towards goals, having like short-term goals. Like say you come in and you want to do push-ups, but you can only do 2 push-ups. Having a short-term goal of saying, I want to be able to do 10 push-ups will also help you reach that long-term goal of looking good overall.
When I watch Ultimate Fighting, I get fired up. If I ever see Rocky IV, which was a huge influence on my training, I hate to admit it. When I was at high school, Rocky IV came out, and there's some pretty hardcore training sequences in it. I know you're laughing, but it's, dude, I've seen that movie probably 150 times. And every single time, I can't believe Drago loses. I'm positive Drago is going to win every time I see that movie. But the training footage just gets me so fired up, man, because you know, it came out at a time I was 15 years old, and you know, your dispositions are getting formed in your mind, and you know, along comes Rocky IV, man, and it was pretty. It was a pivotal time. You get everything. You get everything from I want to look good naked, I want to run faster, I want to go to my class reunion and stick it in the girl's face that blew me off in high school. I want to play with my grandkids. I want to beat my son at a 40-yard dash. You know, it's very individual. There's so many different ways to do the exact same thing, and there's so many reasons to do the exact same thing. Motivation it's like a fingerprint. Fingerprint in the fact that it's very individual, but yet it's very evolutionary, because it never stays the same for people, because you're always finding new things to motivate you, inspire you.